about the middle of '98, we took a chainsaw at the bottom of the hill and just cut our driveway up the whole hill.
Wow.
And so then I walked all the 40 and figured out what was where and kind of came with a target. And there was a flattish area not too far from down there. It just seemed to kind of like level out a little bit. And I said, okay, that's where we're going to put the house. And so then I took the chainsaw and made this little loop and got some driveway in here. Put that camper there. We got a second camper, put the second camper in there. And then eventually we found a second location, a current house that was even better. I hear sometimes people go through like 5 different locations, before they finally, because you'll pick one, and then you just get more familiar with the space, place, how rain works, how the wind, everything. And you find something that's a little better. And so I only went through a second spot. And I haven't found a third one yet that I said I wish I'd have built there. So I think I did all right. And then we eventually got a third camper that is already gone. And then we built a deck, and this was our living situation. This one was kind of like the master bedroom. My wife and I were there. The kitchen was down there. Eventually, we put this big fence around this whole area because we wanted a space that was goat-free and chicken-free. And because we built a little barn, we had some goats and some chickens. And then we put some raised bed gardens in here. And so we built a fence around here and kept this enclosed, and this became our wolf pen.
Oh, wow.
And so I think it's the most wolves we ever had. It was like 10 at one time. But this became our wolf den pen. And then and that's on the list, is to kind of get this all cleaned out. Cleared out, cleaned up, taken away, disappeared. But keep the pen up so that every once in a while, well, right now I use it for the dogs. They enjoy eating chicken too much. And so they go in when I free range the birds. But this is where I had all my solar panels on the roof. I collected all my rainwater and filled in the cisterns. And where I had the power source.
And how many gallons are they?
They're 1,500.
Nice size.
But yeah, I had a gutter coming off and then just filling the tank. And I've got this place piped. There's a pipe here somewhere for a tank here and another tank here.
Okay.
And I had a tank here, but I've moved it. And then just 5 years ago, I sell old Nissan Datsun parts online, and we had a warehouse down in Red Oak. You drove through Red Oak before you got to the floor.
Yes.
Any what?
Cows.
Cows? Cow, yeah. No, that just sounds hard. That sounds big.
Horses?
I want goats.
Horses.
We had goats. All I have are chickens, cats, and dogs.
You like those, don't you?
But we had a problem with the Red Oak thing, and then in 2010 we actually built this little warehouse. And so I got all my Nissan parts here now.
Oh, wow.
I don't have to go to Red Oak anymore.
Good.
And then about 2 years ago, I added this extension and moved all my garage. My garage is moved over there. I built some storage things on the other side. Solar panels are up on top. This is about twice as much water collection as over here.
Wow.
1 inch would give me 750 gallons, so half a tank would give me 1 inch. Now 1 inch gives me a whole tank
Wow.
of rain. But the solar panels are on top. They just come down with wires, and they feed the system. They get regulated and all that stuff, and then it charges this big battery. It's just one battery.
It's a forklift battery.
Yep, forklift. And I did a lot of battery research back in the mid-90s. So I don't know what the latest is, but most people, as you're probably aware, buy these golf cart batteries, and that's the most common thing. But they're rated to last 5 to 7 years, and this is the equivalent of 16 of those batteries. And back then it was about $1,200 for 16 of those batteries, and this cost about $1,700, and so it was $500 more. But this is going to last 30 years.
30 years.
I would already be on my third set of golf carts.
Wow. So in the long run, it's definitely cheaper.
Oh, it's already
And,
cheaper.
yeah.
After just 2 sets, you're already
Right.
cheaper.
Wow.
And I can tell it's not brand new anymore. It doesn't have as much holding capacity as it did when I first got it. But I'm really pleased with it.
Come here. Get over here. Come here. Stand right there. Stand right there.
But then this changes. This converts the power from battery power to house power, and then it goes to lights and down to the house.
And so how much
Not much else.
wattage or whatever? How much do you have?
This is a 4,000 watt unit,
Okay. That's a lot.
which is usually higher than average. A lot of people run on 2,000 watt systems.
Yeah.
1,000 watt systems getting pretty small.
And how much,
Jessica.
do you remember how much you paid for that?
2,300.
Okay.
And I still kind of watch them on eBay.
What is that do?
You can still get them for about 2,300. Some of these older units.
Yeah.
Brand new, they're like 35 now.
Okay. Again, though, that's probably worth it if you want that much power. That's probably a good price.
I probably now have 10,000 in the whole power system.
Wow. Yeah, I guess it adds up.
And the one thing I would recommend with power, for a backup generator, you try to save money here and there, and you go with a generator here, this, that. But that's been my weak spot. I've gone through 5 generators because you buy these 5,000 watt gas generators. Spend the money, get a good diesel generator.
Okay.
'Cause you'll kick yourself for not.
Yeah.
I am.
And so this is exactly why I wanted to tour your place, because you've done this a while. I want to know the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah, you spend $500 on a generator, back 15 years ago, and then you might spend another $700 on another generator, and then another $800 on another generator. And, you've already spent, $2,500 on generators. You could have bought a $2,000 diesel generator for less than that.
Yeah.
So have you tried wind power?
I have a wind turbine.
Oh, you have?
I'm not impressed with it. I've just got a small one, but wind turbines have moving parts, which means maintenance, which means way up there.
Yeah.
And one good night of wind is worth about 3 days of sunshine. But shoot, just get another solar panel. They sit there and they smile and they don't do anything.
Yeah. Hey, do you ever have any
They're on a
trouble?
roof. They just.
Have you ever had any trouble with like hail or ice?
I wouldn't say trouble. The only thing that you have to be aware of is typically in winter is when you're in your weakest, electrical systems, sunlight and all that kind of stuff. You're always kind of making sure you're trying to maximize as much sunlight as you can because that's the minimum. You probably run your generator more often than, unless if you're going to run an air conditioner, you're going to run your generator every day in the summer. But when it snows, it covers up the solar panels. And if the snow sticks around for 4 days, and typically after a snowstorm, you got bright sunshine, right? Well, not when it's covered up with snow. So that's the one trouble.
So it's a little
that
bit of
I have to do.
maintenance to get the snow off.
That's the degree of maintenance that I have to do with the solar panels.
Do they still work if
after
they're
it
covered with
snows.
ice? As long as the sun gets to them, or do you have to?
If the ice is clear, the sun will get through and they'll melt pretty quickly.
Oh, good. That's cool.
Because the solar panel will heat up. Just because of the sunlight. The solar panels are dark, and just from the dark warmth, the sun hitting the dark. So, but that's the only maintenance I've got. Is occasional winter time I need to sweep off the.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they're mixed with sleet, so you got to actually kind of bang them, clear them.
Yeah. How often do you have to actually come in here and mess with any of this stuff?
Ah, shoot. I'll go 3 months without even doing anything, and sometimes I'll miss. I might say, I need to futz with my battery, I'll fill up the water and maybe do some equalizing, so I might spend a couple days in a row just really working the system to just make sure it's back up to where it needs to be.
How can you clean your batteries? Like that all that acid and stuff?
Probably once every 6 months kind of thing. But this is actually not bad. Sometimes it'll get really bad if you don't stay on top of it.
because I drive a forklift, so I use those batteries.
So then you're familiar with
So
them.
I'm very familiar with those.
So we might have to go that route then. If you're already familiar with them, yeah.
Yeah, and I've done a little bit of tinkering around with research on the batteries, and I don't know, I'm still leaning toward the forklift battery. I really like it. For the money, that's a solid battery. They're industrial, they're commercial. If you buy one, what I had back then, and I assume it's not much different, it was a 5-year money back, 100% money back guarantee. If that battery went funny on you, a day short of 5 years, they'll replace the entire battery. It's not prorated.
Yeah.
But they're designed to do what? Push something all day long.
It's a huge place.
The gravity feed works as long as the system stays closed. As long as your system is closed, you'll accumulate pressure. I've got 60-foot elevation drop, 60 or 70 foot from here down to there. And so I got about 23 psi. And actually, if the tank is full, I have about 23 psi. If the tank is empty, you're talking, that's a 5-foot difference. There's about a 2 psi difference when the tanks are empty. And so I actually use that. I've got a gauge down at the house. It gives me the pressure reading. The pressure reading equates to how full my tanks are.
Talk about that.
Something like on allergies. I don't know if you've heard, but a common thing suggested for people with allergies is to eat local honey. You've heard that? Yeah. Okay. Well, same thing with local rainwater. If you drink your local rainwater, that's good for allergies.
Okay.
Your allergies. And because it's doing the same thing that the local honey is. It's like inoculating you. It's immunizing you.
Right.
But it's not giving you problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you have I guess you've got, these are designed for rain catchment, I guess. Do you have like mosquito netting over any of it, or is it all completely?
Those two are closed, and this has a screen on top.
Okay.
So that bugs are. I've put a screen on those, and this one just goes down, 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 and out.
So the overflow, does that just drain then down the hill?
Yeah. It just goes down the hill.
Okay. Yeah, those are pretty good size.
The overflow? Yeah.
Well, you got 3 of these 1,500 gallon tanks. I think he's got enough water.
For one person, I've got way more than enough.
Yeah.
This is probably adequate for 4 people. 5.
Okay. Unless we started conserving water at every chance we could.
And I've gotten where I don't really conserve water anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm quite liberal. I mean, I don't waste it, but I don't sit there and get, turn it off,
Yeah.
just a little bit,
You left the water.
Yeah, and you don't have to do that with your power either, I guess.
Exactly.
That's good. You look quite comfortably off grid.
It's getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I've got some storage units that I built. I'm still finishing one of them. But whatever was in my storage building, I've now got in there. I'm trying to get that all cleaned out so I can pull that down and do something with the straw bales. I don't know what I'm going to do with the straw bales. If you know of anyone who might be building a straw bale house anytime in the future.
Yeah. I've heard of a family, they have like 6 kids.